Then I will call the City Selection Committee meeting of January 3rd, 2020 to order. And the first item is for the clerk to call the roll.
Good morning, I'm Brendan Vilahakis, and I'm your deputy clerk today. I'll apologize in advance for mispronouncing any of your names. I'll be calling you in order alphabetically by city. For the city of Camarillo, committee member Tremblay. Here. For the city of Fillmore, committee member Holmgren. Here. For the city of Ojai, committee member Johnston. Here. For the city of Oxnard, committee member Ramirez on behalf of committee member Flynn. Here. For the city of Port Hueneme, committee member Hernandez is absent. For the city of Santa Paula, committee member Ariza. Here. For the city of Simi Valley, committee member Mashburn. Here. For the city of Thousand Oaks, committee member Bill de la Pena on behalf of committee member Adam.
Present.
And for this, and for the city of Ventura, committee member Levere. Here. And for the city of Moore Park, Chair Parvin.
Here.
Thank you.
Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. Place your hand over your heart. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The next item is election of chair and vice chair to the City Selection Committee for calendar year 2020.
I'd like to nominate current Chair Parvin to continue.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And now we need a vice chair.
Who's our vice chair now? Who is it?
It was Camarillo Kildee.
I'll nominate Tony. Let's keep the tradition alive.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. It's because this is home base.
Makes sense.
The next item is agenda review.
Yes, the clerk of the board has received and distributed the following changes to the committee's materials after initial distribution on December 20th. For item 9, a letter of interest from Bert E. Perillo and a memorandum regarding cities eligible to vote has been submitted. And then this morning, for item 10, a letter of interest from Claudia de la Pena has been submitted. The packet in front of you, that letter is the last 2 pages. So we received it and I printed it out, but you did not receive it by email. Therefore, we recommend approval of the agenda as modified.
So moved.
Second.
He needs a motion, right?
Okay.
Okay. Second.
Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Next item is public comments. Do we have any speakers?
No one has asked to speak under public comment.
Anyone change their mind? Okay. Next item is committee member comments. No comments. Followed by item 8 under Association of Water Agencies, approval of the appointment of John F. Johnson as regular director and Laura D. Hernandez as alternate director of the Association of Water Agencies for terms ending March 4th, 2021.
Good morning. Just to clarify what happened last year when my office put out the agenda, we miscalculated the 2-year term. Not sure how we ended up doing that, but it was advised that the best way to do it was to fix the term end date to the correct intended 2-year term was to place it before your committee. We spoke with Kelly Pastone at the Association of Water Agencies, who said she had been in discussions with Director Johnston and Director Hernandez and indicated that they wanted to keep their positions. So we worded your agenda like this, where a simple approval will correct their term end dates to March 4th, 2021. And I do apologize for the error on behalf of the clerk of the board's office.
Well, it was a year ago. So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Can I clarify who made the second, please?
City
City of Camarillo, thank you.
The next item is item 9, Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency Board of Directors. Appoint a city member as a regular board member and a city member as an alternate board member to the Fox Canyon Groundwater Management Agency Board of Directors for 2-year terms effective February 28, 2020 through February 28, 2022. Staff report on that?
Mr. Pratt?
Oh, really? I didn't know it, so I'm sorry, not prepared, but this is, I guess, the best way to start is this is a very important position. The game has changed. The Sustainable Groundwater Management Act has passed. In the case of Fox Canyon, the lawsuits have started flying. Also in the case of Fox Canyon, they're way ahead of the rest of the state in dealing with issues like this, and we're going to be the first where the old adjudication laws and whether or not and how water gets set versus SGMA gets decided. That's going to the courts right now. The cities have a great deal at stake, and one of the things the cities have never done very well, in my mind, and the county for that matter, the M&I users, if you will, is coordinate. Right? There are going to be a number of big issues in front of you, most likely after the replenishment fees. That'll be a big one. How much, who shares, how much you pay, and that will be designed to bring water in. The ramp down from your initial allocations is going to be huge. Who gets cut where? There's been a lot of ag discussion that cities should cut first, that sort of thing. I won't get into the details, but that's another issue, and it's rearing its head on the Oxnard Plain. We've got a lawsuit that's been filed by the landowners in abeyance right now while we try to work something out. They want to go back and redo all the allocations we spent 3 or 4 years working on with the groups. And another big move, there's every indication that they're going to want to move the GMA outside of the county, either to private staff or to United. United's made some indications that they have capacity. And they can do that because traditionally the GMA staff has been the last to know anything. The business that's done by the GMA, if it's done by someone else, water supply, capital project, is always done by someone else. And just a curious example of that is the GMA staff didn't run any of the models that created the safe yields, where they were run by others, and then we had to rely on them. And that's traditionally been the way it's been run. Now that may not make a difference to you, but it makes a big difference from a public policy perspective. You guys, the M&I folks, have generally 2 seats. Tony can speak to this because he's been at United before, but the United seat traditionally has been an ag-related seat. So it's usually a 60-40 split, which is about the way the pumping is out, just generally speaking, from year to year. So whoever sits on this can expect a lot of meetings. I said that the last time I was here. They used to just want to meet once a month, 2 hours a month, 10 months a year. We got 20 hours with them to do all these big issues. Since SGMA's passed, we've got lots of emergency meetings. We've got the regular meetings, not emergency, special scheduled meetings, the regular meetings, and there's a ton of reading. It's a very sophisticated process to follow, only because it's a Rube Goldberg structure, not because it's a complex subject. There are all these one-off deals that have been made in the past between ag and even the M&I folks that make tracking the water and who's got the rights to it very, very complicated. So all that is to say, whoever comes needs to commit the time and needs to be able to cover those issues, and it's going to be a lot in the coming year as we ramp up. We've submitted the GSPs backing up. There was a deadline of 2020 January to get the groundwater sustainability plans required by SGMA for the critically overdrafted basin. So we submitted those for the Oxnard Pleasant Valley Basin. We expect them to be challenged, and that's the one they're talking about redoing. They put the trial out here, they set it aside, and then now they're trying to redo a lot of the stuff we did with the 8 mediators. So I said it fast. If you have any questions, let me know. I can't underscore or emphasize enough the importance of these positions now. It used to be just the past, really. You could come and there wasn't a lot that got done. That's not the case anymore. And that concludes my presentation.
Thank you, and there are no candidates.
Candidates, believe me.
Is there any questions for him? No questions? Do we have any speakers that want to talk about themselves a little bit?
I'll go ahead and just lead off quickly. I'm Tony Tremblay. I have a letter in the packet that I think has been shared with all of you. I won't repeat what's in the letter. This is a position that I am interested in fulfilling, both from a professional as well as a personal standpoint. I find it helped me. I find it intellectually challenging exercise. But professionally, I'm in my 37th year of law practice, although I'm now, I was lucky enough to be able to retire from full-time law practice a couple of years ago, and I maintain a small part-time law practice. In representing large water agencies, which my letter discusses, in the past, I've had the opportunity not only to litigate matters, but also to try to bring people together. So I'm used to working with very disparate stakeholders. When I represented United Water's both challenge and opportunity, as you will, to try to bring both ag and MI together to approach groundwater extractions. Fortunately, I have a lot of experience in SGMA, the Sustainable Groundwater Management Act. So for all those reasons, I have a real interest in doing this. My only difficulty is that I think Fox Canyon GMA, when I counted the number of meetings, it's the only agency that I've ever seen that has more special meetings calendared than regular meetings. I'm not quite sure what how to deal. That's a first for me. My only time issue is that on Wednesdays, in regular meetings, I have city council obligations here as the mayor at 5 o'clock on Wednesdays. And I know those meetings are scheduled until 4 o'clock on Wednesdays. So I would bring a hard stop for my participation at 4 o'clock on Wednesday, so I can get here to run this meeting because this city takes priority. Other than that, I very much appreciate your consideration. And I know there's another good candidate as well.
My name is Bert Perolo, City Councilman in Oxnard. I know a couple of you from Holmstrom. The reason that I'm an applicant here, the previous applicant, Charlotte Craven, at the last GMA meeting, I asked her if she was going to run, and she told me that she was still considering it. I never got a response back. I did get a copy of the letter from Mr. Tremblay that he's applying from the same city, Camarillo. And then I put my hat in the ring. The reason I'm putting my hat in the ring, it is more than just a thought process. It's more than just an intellectual process with me. It's water. It affects a lot of people. I grew up in the area. I have a history. I hope you've taken the time to read the letter that I submitted. If you haven't, I please hope you do before you vote. The time, I have the opportunity for the time. I'm not an attorney. I make no apologies for that. I have no legal experience with this, but I have a degree of common sense, and those of you that know me know that I ask questions. I have no problem asking questions. I'm an advocate for the 5 cities on this thing, but I'm an advocate for all the people that are sharing the water. My background and family is ag, but I'm not just aligned with ag. The issue that comes forward before this agency and this vote, this particular vote, is who is the lion in the room. It has not been the city of Oxnard. It has been a weak lamb in the city, in this organization. In my opinion, there was opportunities to speak up and they didn't. The agricultural, and there are issues coming before this with lawsuits, as Mr. Pratt has mentioned. The agricultural issue is the ag people have been given extra free water, extra count. The largest city in this organization happens to be Oxnard. I happen to be a councilman in Oxnard. We have not been given the same consideration. We're the largest user and the largest purchaser, and we've given no extra count, along with every other city that this represents. I feel that's wrong, and I'll advocate for that. I think I can get along with most people. I don't like to roll over. If there's a meeting, I attend the meetings, I ask questions, and I do the homework before I attend the meeting. I hope you consider me. No disrespect to Mr. Tremblay. I think that the current member of the board should not be coming from the same city. I think there should be a rotation, whether it's me or anyone else. And I don't know if anybody else has applied. There may be some late applicants. I don't know all the individuals. I know Jeff and the lady on the end, Ms. Green. But I hope you'll consider me. Thank you. If you have any questions, I'll take a shot at it.
I have a question. As an alternate, have you attended all the meetings?
I attended all the meetings, attended the special meetings. I've had to sit for the board, went into closed session, didn't miss a meeting. and the meetings do go past 4 o'clock.
We had a discussion about who can vote on this position, and I asked for clarification, and it's in the packet. So it really is only the cities, the members representing the cities that receive water through the Fox Canyon. So that is Camarillo, Oxnard, Moore Park, Port Hueneme, Ventura. Did I miss anybody? So that's who'll be able to vote. So.
One other thought, and no disrespect to you at all, Bert. One concern that I do have, and I should note that the city of Oxnard did file early last month a writ of mandate action against Fox Canyon GMA. So from a practical standpoint, that would mean that if Mr. Perello were appointed, there would be a representative on the board who would be representing all the cities ostensibly, but from Oxnard who is in active litigation against GMA. That does bring up a couple of questions in my mind relative to participation in closed session and other positions that relative to between the city versus other cities versus other interests on the board. So it's more of a, it is a legal issue, and it's kind of a practical issue as well. I thought I would just make sure that I at least note it for the record. And it's seeking to overturn the allocation ordinance.
Right, which has been discussed. Can I just add, Tony did mention conflict, a potential conflict, and I would disagree with that, because I know, for example, I'm in LAFCO, and I've been told, I'm not sure it's exactly on point, but I've been told that however you vote at your city council on a particular land use issue, you can vote as a LAFCO member would. Correct, Jen? Mm-hmm. Right. That's correct. So I actually asked our deputy city manager, who's also an attorney, who's been discussing Fox Canyon issues with council and with all of us, to speak as to the issue. If you wouldn't mind, Chair, if she could just comment on Tony's concerns. Sherry Cleanup.
My name is Sherry Cleanup.
May I address the question before?
Sure.
May I, Chair?
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Tremblay's right. City of Oxnard has taken it moving forward. But Moore Park, Ventura, Port Hueneme, Oxnard, and Camarillo, I repeat, and Camarillo, have all made a statement and taken a position that they are against the way the water was given to ag and not to the cities. I was the only individual that stepped up and said anything about it, as the alternate or a member of the public. No other member of the city did it, but in private meetings they did. In this building, with other members of my council, including members of the Board of Supervisors. I need to put that out there.
Yeah, I'm Sherry Clean. I'm the deputy city manager. I was an attorney for 11 years prior to my current role. I was the water law counsel for the city of Oxnard. We don't share your concern, Mr. Tremblay. We think that it's fine for Mr. Perello to participate, but moreover, I think the relevant issue here is that Oxnard is taking a very firm stance. Under Mr. Perello was the alternate member, and he really pushed it very hard. Oxnard has taken a stance on behalf of the cities, a firm stance, and when we, the letters, the correspondence, his many comments at public meetings, things like that didn't work out, the city filed suit, and I know a lot of the other cities stand behind it firmly, because really ag is being treated differently, better, we think, than the cities ought to be treated.
A point for consideration, I mentioned this to Sherry when I met, but in 2020, the county rep is going to change. After 2020, the county rep is going to change. It's been Supervisor Bennett, and he will be turned out. And he has been a fierce supporter of the M&I position. And that is a key position that you need to keep in mind, and it may affect your decisions today. So.
That's a lot of information.
Water.
Yeah.
Can't live without it. So I'm, at this time, I guess it's the time for nominations.
At the time, unless
So-
anyone has any further questions or comments or.
So we have two interested individuals.
Mhm.
I want to nominate my colleague, Bert Perello, for the reasons stated. I have tremendous respect for my colleague, Mr. Tremblay, who I've known for 30 years?
At least 30.
30 years in Bar Association activities. So I nominate Bert.
And I'd like to nominate Tony. No disrespect to you, Bert. I think you've served all of us in a great way, but I view it as having a real unique opportunity to have someone with Tony's his extensive background, his relationships, and I know that water is equally important to all of the 5 cities, and I just have a lot of confidence in Tony representing us and making sure that we get the allocations and the representation we need, especially with Supervisor Bennett going off the board. We have somebody with that lengthy background in this issue. I think he would serve us well.
Okay, so we have a motion for Mr. Tremblay and a motion for Mr. Perrello. We need a second on something.
That needs to be from either Moore Parker Camarillo needs to second.
All right, well, I will second Tony Tremblay. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
No,
Okay. 1 no.
apparently.
So that's 3 yes and 1 no, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
That's
So-
what I saw.
Okay.
Did I see that around? Okay.
Yes.
And the alternate position remains, I don't know what the term is for the
Yeah,
alternate.
Director Pratt, I'll defer to you.
They're
There's
both the same.
yeah.
So then, would you like to nominate him as the alternate?
So I'll nominate Bert as the alternate.
I will second that. All in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Congratulations.
So can I just ask a point of information? So Tony, you said you've got to stop at 4.
On the Wednesday meetings,
Mhm.
they just happen to be at
Yeah.
the same, city council starts at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
So I go as late as I possibly can go,
Okay.
but
And
the meeting is only supposed to go until 4 o'clock.
I've been there till 8 o'clock.
So then could the alternate then sit in at that point?
Absolutely, and I made the point of the special meetings because that's got to be dealt with at some point. Tony's exactly right, there are more special meetings, and so they probably need to talk about that scheduling, and then they usually give us direction on what to put on the agenda to make sure that we have some control of the timeline. But right now, the heavy load goes on Wednesday, the regular meeting, and we only hold special meetings if they're needed, and we've been holding a lot of them.
They start at 9?
No, they usually start at 1:30,
Oh, okay.
and that's another thing that can be changed as well.
Okay. It's done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, our next item is item 10, Local Agency Formation Commission. Appoint a city member as a regular commissioner and a city member as an alternate commissioner to the Ventura Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, for 4-year terms effective January 1, 2020 through January 1, 2024. Staff report?
I don't have anything to add beyond that. We don't have special meetings. And,
Well, I'll make a comment that I have been on the commission for quite some time. It's actually one of the most enjoyable commissions I'm on, or ever been on. There's a lot of protections that are required in this job. I take a lot of pride in it, protecting cities and cities' rights in these meetings. I know Claudia does as well, and Carmen as well. I know we all enjoy it, and I think we all do a really, really good job. So I would like to be appointed
I'd like
again.
to nominate you, Janice, to continue, right? Or add a new 4-year term.
And I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And I would like to nominate Claudia as the alternate.
And I'll second
second
that.
that.
Oh,
Ty
I'll
goes
let
to the
you-
runner. Okay, I'll second it.
We have a motion and 2 seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Congratulations. And I believe that is the conclusion of our agenda.
All right.
All right. We're adjourned.
Thank you, Chair.